The ongoing battle against cancer continues to drive researchers to investigate whether everyday habits might contribute to reducing the risk of developing this devastating disease. A recent global study, which focused on something many of us consume daily, coffee and tea, has brought new hope for coffee and tea drinkers in particular. This study sought to determine whether these beverages could potentially reduce the risk of head and neck cancers, a group of diseases that includes cancers of the mouth, throat, and voice box. However, while the results of the study may initially seem promising, they come with a number of important caveats that should not be overlooked. Head and neck cancers have become more prevalent in recent years, now ranking as the seventh most common type of cancer globally. These cancers are rising at an alarming rate, especially in low and middle-income countries where people may have limited access to healthcare and cancer screenings. As the number of affected individuals grows, scientists are eager to better understand how lifestyle choices, including the consumption of coffee and tea, may influence the development of cancer. Researchers are looking for ways to reduce the incidence of these cancers, and the recent study conducted by the Huntsman Cancer Institute at the University of Utah offers some insight into the potential benefits of coffee and tea in this regard. This study, which reanalyzed data from 14 previous studies gathered by the International Head and Neck Cancer Epidemiology (ENHANCE) Consortium, examined the coffee and tea habits of nearly 25,000 people. Of those, 9,548 had been diagnosed with head and neck cancer, while 15,783 had not. By investigating how much coffee and tea participants consumed over time, the researchers were able to draw some conclusions about their relationship to cancer risk. The study revealed a trend that could excite many coffee and tea drinkers. Those who consumed more than 4 cups of caffeinated coffee per day had lower odds of developing head and neck cancer. More specifically, the data indicated that people who drank over 4 cups of caffeinated coffee daily had a 17% lower risk of developing any type of head and neck cancer, a 30% lower risk of oral cancer, and a 22% lower risk of throat cancer. For those who drank 3 to 4 cups a day, the risk of developing hypopharyngeal cancer, an uncommon but serious type of cancer that affects the lower part of the throat, was reduced by 41%. Interestingly, even decaffeinated coffee appeared to offer benefits. People who consumed decaf coffee had a 25% lower risk of developing oral cavity cancer, suggesting that factors other than caffeine, such as antioxidants or other plant-based compounds found in coffee, may contribute to these protective effects. Tea, too, showed promise, especially in relation to hypopharyngeal cancer, where those who drank tea were found to have a 29% lower risk of developing this particular type of cancer. Those who drank 1 cup or less of tea per day had a 9% lower risk of overall head and neck cancer, with a more significant reduction of 27% in the risk of hypopharyngeal cancer. However, despite these promising findings, the study also raised important red flags about the consumption of tea. Specifically, people who drank more than 1 cup of tea daily had a 38% higher chance of developing laryngeal cancer, which affects the voice box. This result highlights a significant concern. While tea might offer protection against certain types of head and neck cancers, it could also be linked to an increased risk of other types, depending on how much is consumed. The study's findings show that the effects of coffee and tea on cancer risk may not be uniform. They appear to vary depending on the type of cancer involved, the amount of the beverage consumed, and possibly even the way it is prepared. These findings, while interesting, must be viewed with caution. The study does not prove that drinking coffee or tea directly prevents cancer. The link between coffee and tea consumption and a reduced risk of head and neck cancers is merely associative, not causal. This means that while there is a correlation between drinking these beverages and lower cancer risks, it doesn't necessarily imply that one causes the other. There are likely other factors at play, including genetic predispositions, lifestyle choices, environmental exposures, and even the overall quality of the participants' diets, which may all contribute to cancer risk in complex ways. For instance, people who drink coffee and tea may also be more likely to engage in other health-conscious behaviors, such as eating a balanced diet or avoiding smoking, which could further influence cancer outcomes. Moreover, while this study's results may encourage coffee and tea drinkers to feel optimistic, they also present important warnings. The fact that tea drinking may be associated with a higher risk of laryngeal cancer underscores the need for careful moderation and an awareness of how different substances affect our health. Not all types of tea or all methods of preparation will necessarily have the same effects. It's crucial to consider not only the quantity of tea consumed, but also the ingredients added, such as sugar or milk, which can alter the nutritional profile of the beverage and potentially mitigate or enhance its effects on health. Additionally, it's important to remember that lifestyle choices are only one piece of the puzzle when it comes to cancer prevention. No single food or drink can fully protect you from cancer, and the risk of developing cancer is influenced by a complex array of factors. Smoking, alcohol consumption, exposure to carcinogens, genetics, and environmental factors all play a significant role in the development of head and neck cancers. Therefore, while incorporating coffee and tea into your diet may offer some protective benefits, it should never be viewed as a cure-all or a replacement for other important health measures, such as maintaining a healthy weight, engaging in regular physical activity, and avoiding smoking and excessive alcohol consumption. Ultimately, this study offers some intriguing insights into the potential health benefits of coffee and tea. It suggests that, in moderation, these beverages could play a role in lowering the risk of certain types of head and neck cancer, particularly when consumed as part of an overall healthy lifestyle. However, it also highlights the need for further research to better understand the complex relationship between coffee, tea, and cancer risk. Until more is known, it's essential for individuals to approach these findings with a degree of caution and to recognize that no beverage, no matter how beneficial, can fully protect against the many risk factors that contribute to cancer. Moderation, variety, and a holistic approach to health remain key to cancer prevention.